Join me as I dig through the nostalgia and challenge myself to find out what we left behind in the 80s. The 80s, a decade that's often remembered for its big hair, big phones, and even bigger personalities. But as we look back on this iconic era, it's hard not to wonder, what did we leave behind? What aspects of this fascinating decade have faded away, only to be replaced by the modern amenities we know and love today? Cassette tapes, for instance, were once the epitome of music portability, but with the rise of streaming services, they've become a relic of the past. The once ubiquitous payphone has given way to smartphones, and the art of writing letters has been all but replaced by texting and social media. It's amazing how quickly we've adapted to new technologies, but in doing so, we've also lost some of the charm and character of the past. Take, for example, the Humble Map. Once an essential tool for navigation, it's now been supplanted by GPS and Google Maps. And while this shift has undoubtedly made our lives easier, there's something to be said for the tactile experience of unfolding a map, tracing your route with your finger, and discovering new hidden gems. It's a sensory experience that's been lost in the digital age. As we continue to hurtle forward into the future, it's worth stopping to consider what else we've left behind. The 80s were a time of great social change, with the rise of the feminist movement, the fall of the Berlin Wall, and the advent of the AIDS crisis. These were pivotal moments in world history, and yet, they often feel like a distant memory. In the world of fashion, the 80s were all about excess, big shoulders, big hair, and even bigger personalities. But as we entered the 90s, things took a more minimalist turn, with the rise of grunge and the eventual dominance of athleisure wear. Today we're seeing a resurgence of 80s-inspired fashion, but it's been reinterpreted for the modern age. Sleeker, more refined, and often more sustainable. Music, too, has undergone a significant transformation since the 80s. Gone are the days of big hair bands and synthesizer-heavy pop, replaced by everything from hip-hop to EDM to indie rock. And yet, despite these changes, the 80s continue to exert a profound influence on modern music, with many contemporary artists drawing inspiration from the decade's iconic sounds. Of all the things we've left behind, perhaps the most surprising is the lack of social etiquette that once governed our interactions. In the 80s, we still wrote thank you notes, used formal titles, and addressed our elders with respect. Today, it's all about casual familiarity, with everyone from the president to our favorite celebrities tweeting their every thought. But if I had to pinpoint the most significant thing we've left behind, it would have to be the art of deep conversation. In an age where we're constantly connected yet increasingly isolated, it's harder than ever to find the time and the space to really talk to someone. We've lost the ability to engage in meaningful dialogue, to debate, to disagree, and to challenge each other's perspectives. As we take a step back and reflect on what we've left behind, it's clear that the 80s were a decade of great change and great loss. But they were also a time of great creativity, great innovation, and great progress. And even though we may have left some things behind, their legacy continues to shape our world in ways both big and small. What are some of your favorite 80s memories? Share them with me in the comments below, and if you're feeling nostalgic, be sure to check out my video on the best 80s movies of all time. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.